The moon of Varan 6 was silent, cold, and filled with the smell of burned metal. Broken starships lay across the black sand like dead giants. Smoke rose from the wreckage, glowing faintly under the weak light of the distant sun. This battlefield had been alive with fire only hours ago, but now only one human moved across it. Mark Wren, a simple mechanic and part-time scavenger, walked slowly with a scanner in his hand. His boots crunched on the glass like sand as he searched for useful parts. He was not a soldier, not a hero, just a man trying to make enough credits to survive. The war between alien factions had nothing to do with him, but their battles always left behind scrap he could sell. He wiped sweat from his forehead. "Another empty day," he muttered. But then, he heard it. A soft, weak voice carried through the wind. "Help, someone, please." Mark froze. His heart began to beat faster. No one should be alive here. Everyone in this zone had either evacuated or died. For a moment he wondered if he imagined it. But then he heard it again, faint, but real. "Help me." Mark turned his scanner toward the sound. It showed a weak life signal under a pile of twisted silver metal. He ran toward it. As he reached the wreckage, he saw a strange pod crushed under a fallen engine. The pod was glowing faint blue. Inside it, behind cracked glass, was a girl. Not human. Her skin was light gold. Her hair silver like starlight. And her eyes, half open, glowed softly like two tiny moons. Mark swallowed nervously. A survivor, an alien girl. He hesitated only for a second. She was hurt. And no matter who she was, she needed help. Mark pushed metal pieces aside with all his strength until he uncovered the pod door. It had a control panel on the side. The alien symbols made no sense to him, but the emergency release button was obvious, a red triangle. He pressed it. With a small hiss, the pod opened. Steam spread into the air. The girl inside tried to sit up but collapsed. Mark quickly caught her. Her skin felt warm, almost electric. "Easy, easy," he said. "You're safe." She looked at him with weak eyes. "You are human," she whispered. "Yes," Mark answered. "And I'm not going to hurt you." "Who did this to you?" She shook her head weakly. "No time, they will come back." Mark didn't like the sound of that. He glanced around nervously. "Can you walk?" She tried again but failed. "No, my energy, low." Mark picked her up. She was lighter than he expected, almost weightless. "I'll take you to my shelter," he said. "It's hidden. You can rest there." The girl looked at him with confusion. "You would help me? A stranger?" Mark gave a small smile. "Someone helped me once when I was a stranger. I'm just returning the favor." He carried her across the battlefield, moving quickly but quietly. Every few minutes, he checked the sky, afraid another ship might appear. The war on Varan 6 had been brutal. Many factions fought over this moon's resources. No survivor was truly safe. After a long walk, Mark reached a small cave hidden behind a rocky ridge. Inside, he had set up a simple but safe shelter, a heater, some tools, a first aid box, and a small bed. He gently placed the alien girl on the bed. She looked around, surprised. "You live here alone?" "Just temporary," Mark said. "Until the war moves away from this moon." He gave her water. She drank slowly, almost like a wild animal who wasn't sure if the water was safe. "My name is Mark," he said softly. "What's yours?" The girl hesitated. Her eyes went to the floor. "I cannot tell you," she whispered. Mark blinked. "That's okay, I guess." "You don't have to." She gave a tiny nod, like she appreciated his lack of pressure. He cleaned a cut on her forehead and used the med gel he found earlier. As he worked, she watched his face closely, studying every movement as if trying to understand him. "You are gentle," she finally said. "Most humans I met were not." Mark chuckled. Lucky you met the good one today. A faint smile appeared on her lips, but it faded quickly when Mark's scanner beeped loudly. He checked the screen and his eyes widened. Oh no. What is it? She asked weakly. Ships, Mark said, voice tense. Fast ones. Coming this way. The girl's eyes narrowed. The hunters. Hunters? Why are hunters coming for you? She turned her face away, refusing to answer. Mark realized she was hiding something. Something big. The scanner beeped again, closer this time. Mark grabbed his old rifle and took position near the entrance. He wasn't a fighter, but he couldn't let strangers storm in and take her. He didn't know why they chased her, but he had made a choice. He would protect her. The girl struggled to sit up. Mark, you do not understand. They are not simple hunters. They. A sudden explosion outside cut her off. Dust fell from the cave ceiling. Footsteps echoed. Metallic, heavy, fast. Mark aimed his rifle, hands shaking. From the darkness outside, 3 tall armored figures appeared. Their helmets glowed red, their weapons looked advanced, far beyond human tech. They scanned the cave. One said in a deep, mechanical voice. Target detected. Life reading matches the princess. Princess. Mark's eyes widened. He turned to the girl, she looked terrified. Princess? She wasn't just a survivor. She wasn't a normal alien. She was someone important, maybe dangerous. The armored figure raised his weapon. Capture the princess. Eliminate the human. Mark's heart pounded. He aimed his rifle, ready to die if he had to. But before he could shoot, the girl suddenly opened her eyes fully, and for the first time, Mark saw the true fire inside them. Her voice turned sharp, strong, almost like a command. Mark, run. No, he whispered. I'm not leaving you. She stared at him with glowing eyes, no longer weak, no longer afraid. You do not understand, she whispered. They came for me. And if you stay, you will die. Outside, the hunters stepped forward. Mark tightened his grip on his rifle. I'm staying. The princess looked at him with a strange emotion, respect, maybe even sadness. Then she whispered. Then you must know the truth. I am not what you think I am. The hunters charged. The cave shook as the hunters moved closer, their metal boots striking the ground like thunder. Mark felt the vibration in his chest. His hands trembled, but he kept his rifle pointed at the entrance. He had no idea how to fight elite alien soldiers, but he knew one thing. He wasn't letting them take her. The princess, though he still didn't understand what that meant, sat on the bed, her golden skin glowing faintly in the dim light. She looked stronger now, her breathing steady. Her silver hair floated like soft energy around her face. But her eyes had changed. They no longer looked weak or scared. They burned with a sharp, dangerous light. Mark, she said quietly. When they enter, do not try to fight them. You cannot win. He swallowed hard. I'm not just going to stand here and watch. Her gaze softened for a moment. You helped me. And for that, I will protect you. Before he could ask what she meant, the hunters burst inside. The first armored figure raised his weapon and fired a thin beam of red light. Mark only had time to duck, the beam cut the cave wall behind him, leaving a melted line of glowing stone. The second hunter shouted, the human is armed. Neutralize. He didn't finish. Because the princess moved. Faster than Mark could blink. She didn't stand. She didn't walk. She appeared in front of the first hunter like a streak of golden light. Her hand struck his helmet with a sharp crack. The armored giant flew backward like a rag doll, crashing into the cave wall. Mark froze. She had barely touched him. The second hunter swung his weapon toward her, but she twisted sideways, her body bending like liquid. She caught his arm, turned it, and slammed him into the floor with a force that made the rocks shake. Mark couldn't breathe. He had rescued her thinking she was a helpless girl. But this? This was something else. The third hunter hesitated for a tiny moment, then fired a full-power blast. A bright red beam shot across the cave. The princess lifted her hand. The beam hit her palm, and stopped. Stopped. Like her skin swallowed the energy. Her eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment her entire body shined with a golden aura. She whispered something in her language, soft and sharp like a blade being drawn, and the hunter was suddenly pushed violently backward, thrown out of the cave as if hit by an invisible force. Silence. Mark's rifle slipped from his hands. The princess turned toward him. Her glowing eyes slowly dimmed until they looked normal again, still alien, still strange, but calmer. She breathed out. It is done. Mark stared at the fallen hunters, then at her. What are you? She lowered her gaze, as if ashamed. I am what my people made me. A weapon. A protector. A daughter of the royal line. Mark tried to absorb it. You're the princess, but you're also some kind of super soldier? She nodded slowly. In my world, a princess is not just a title. It is a role. We are trained from birth to fight, to command, to defend the empire. But you never told me, Mark said, voice low but steady. You let me think you were weak. She looked directly into his eyes. I needed to see what kind of person you were. If you would use me, or help me. Mark blinked. And I passed? A small smile touched her lips. Yes. You passed. Before he could say anything else, the ground shook again. Dust rained from the ceiling. Mark jumped. What now? More hunters? The princess stepped outside the cave entrance and looked up. Mark followed her, his heart sinking. A large shadow covered the moon's surface. A massive destroyer ship descended slowly, its engines glowing blue. It was 10 times larger than the hunter's shuttle. Who are they? Mark asked. The princess's face turned cold. The royal guardians. My mother's elite soldiers. Your mother? As in, the queen? She nodded. Mark felt his stomach twist. And they're coming here? Yes. To rescue you? The princess's expression did not change. No. To retrieve me, yes. But when they see you, they will think you kidnapped me. Mark took a step back. What? But that's crazy. I saved you. They do not know that, she said softly. They will see a human with the princess of the empire. To them, that means danger. Mark stared up at the descending ship. I'll tell them the truth. It will not matter, she said. Humans are not trusted by my empire. Mark frowned. Why? She hesitated. Because humans are unpredictable. Some see you as reckless, some see you as weak. And some fear what you might become. Mark sighed. Great. Just what I needed. The destroyer landed with a deep vibration. A ramp opened. Dozens of tall soldiers in shining green armor marched out in perfect formation. Their helmets were shaped like sharp crowns, their weapons were long and glowing with energy. Their leader stepped forward, a woman taller than even the hunters. Her armor had golden markings. She pointed her weapon at Mark. There is the human. Capture him. Mark raised his hand slowly. Wait. I didn't do anything. I was helping her. The soldiers ignored him and advanced. But the princess moved between them. Stop, she commanded. Her voice echoed like thunder, almost a royal command encoded with power. The soldiers froze instantly. The leader knelt. My princess, you are safe. The princess lifted her chin. Yes. And the human stays. He is under my protection. Mark's eyes widened. Wait, what? The leader looked confused. My princess, you cannot protect a human. He is a risk. The princess's voice turned icy. He saved my life when your elite guards failed to reach me. If he had not found me, I would be dead. The leader hesitated. The princess stepped closer. And if anyone touches him, they answer to me. Even Mark felt a chill at her words. The soldiers slowly lowered their weapons. The leader tapped her chest respectfully. As you command. The princess turned to Mark. We must return to the capital world. There is a traitor in our empire. Someone powerful. Someone who tried to kill me. Mark stared at her. And you want me to come with you? She nodded. You helped me once. And now. I trust you more than anyone in my empire. Mark breathed slowly. He had just wanted to collect scrap. Now he was being asked to travel across the galaxy with the most dangerous princess in existence. He managed a shaky smile. Yeah, okay. Why not? What could possibly go wrong? The princess looked away, her expression dark. Everything, she whispered. The stars above the capital world of Zyphora burned like 1,000 distant fires. From orbit, Mark could see the vast city sprawled across the planet's surface, towering spires, glowing streets, and flying ships moving like fish in a metallic ocean. He had never imagined anything like it. And he had never imagined being here, with the princess. The shuttle docked at a secure landing platform. Soldiers in gleaming armor surrounded them immediately, their energy rifles raised. Mark froze instinctively. He had been warned, but nothing could prepare him for the tension in the air. The princess stepped out first. Her silver hair shimmered in the bright light. Her eyes glowed faintly, not as a weapon, but as a warning. She moved with authority that made everyone pause. Even the soldiers who had followed her from the moon seemed to defer completely to her presence. Mark ran, she said quietly, stay close. You are a human. Do not speak unless I allow it. He nodded, swallowing his nerves. They walked through massive doors into the royal palace. The halls were vast, with ceilings high enough that flying drones zipped like birds overhead. Everything gleamed gold, silver, crystal, but the grandeur did not intimidate the princess. She walked with purpose. At the center of the palace, in a large chamber, the alien queen awaited. Her armor was polished black with silver etchings that caught the light. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, fell immediately on Mark. You, she said, voice like a blade. You dare to bring my daughter to the outer worlds? Mark raised his hand slowly. Wait. I didn't. You saved her life, the princess said, stepping forward. And he did it without knowing who I am. That is why he stands here. The queen narrowed her eyes at him. A human, she hissed. You must understand, humans are unpredictable. You could have killed her or been killed yourself. How do I know you are trustworthy? Mark opened his mouth, but the princess raised a hand. I am telling you. He saved me. And he will fight beside me if needed. You cannot stop him. The queen's expression softened, but only slightly. Very well, she said. But know this, the threat is closer than you think. My daughter is not safe. Mark glanced at the princess. What threat? Who is attacking you? She turned to him, eyes sharp again. A traitor, one of my closest advisors. He has been manipulating the empire from the shadows. He tried to kill me to claim the throne. And now, he has called a fleet to destroy us. Mark felt the weight of her words. So, we're about to fight a space fleet, he asked, voice trembling. The princess didn't answer. She simply moved toward the command center, her expression deadly calm. Mark followed, trying not to look like a scared human in front of the most dangerous being in the galaxy. The command center was a massive room filled with glowing screens, holograms, and alien technology beyond Mark's understanding. The fleet approached quickly on the main screen. Hundreds of enemy ships, heavily armed, were closing in. The princess turned to him. You will stay with me. I will need your help. Mark blinked. My help? I'm just a human. Her gaze softened slightly, just enough to show a hint of trust. Humans think differently. Your unpredictability is useful. Now, sit at that console. He hesitated, but the princess's expression left no room for refusal. He stepped up to a console, trying to make sense of the alien symbols. She guided him patiently, giving simple instructions. Slowly, he began to understand the controls. Mark, she said, her voice steady and commanding, we cannot win with strength alone. We must outsmart them. Mark nodded. I can try. The battle began. Enemy ships fired bright beams across space. The princess stood at the center console, moving with speed and precision that made her look like a blur. Every order she gave was executed instantly by her loyal soldiers. And Mark? He monitored shields, calculated angles, and guided their counterattacks. Together, human intuition and alien precision formed a deadly combination. But then, a massive ship broke through their defenses. Its size dwarfed everything Mark had seen. The princess's eyes glowed white-hot as she activated the ship's hidden weapons. The main enemy ship rocked under the assault, but it didn't fall. Mark, she said, voice urgent, I need you to guide the laser cannons. Aim for the engine core. If we destroy it, we win. Miss it, and we are finished. Mark's hands shook as he followed her instructions. The enemy fleet's fire rained down, shaking the palace ship violently. He gritted his teeth, focusing entirely on the task. The princess stepped forward, her armor glowing faintly, her voice steady. Now, Mark. Fire. He pressed the button. A beam of pure energy shot across space, striking the enemy ship's engine core. The ship exploded in a brilliant blaze, taking several smaller fighters with it. The enemy fleet scattered, their morale broken. The battle was won. The princess exhaled, stepping back. Her face was calm, but her eyes reflected the fire of combat. Mark slumped against the console, exhausted, shaking but alive. The queen entered the control room. She looked at Mark, then at her daughter. You have saved more than your own life, the queen said slowly. You have saved my daughter. And my empire. Mark blinked, barely believing it. I just helped. That's all. The princess looked at him, her eyes softening for the first time in days. You risked everything for me, Mark. You saved me when I could not show my full strength. You are a human of remarkable courage. Mark smiled, tired but proud. Thanks. I guess. The queen approached him, her expression unreadable. Then she nodded. You are under our protection. You will never lack allies in this galaxy. Mark swallowed. Wow, that's unexpected. The princess turned to him, her face serious again. Mark, remember this. The galaxy is larger and deadlier than you imagined. There will be threats we cannot see. But if you stay true, you will always find allies even among the stars. He nodded. I'll remember. For the first time, Mark looked at the princess not as a stranger, not as a being to protect, but as someone who trusted him and someone he could trust in return. A warrior, a princess, and now, a friend. As they watched the stars from the observation deck, the galaxy stretched before them vast, beautiful, and full of possibilities. And Mark knew that, no matter how small a human he was, he had made a difference. The princess looked at him and smiled faintly. You saved me when I hid my truth. Now the galaxy will know your name, human. Mark laughed softly, shaking his head. Let's hope it's a good name. And with that, the galaxy waited, silent, dangerous, and full of adventures yet to come.